Oh, hello, kindergartners. Hello, I'm all the way up here. All right, so hello, everybody. I want to read you this very, very cool story called A Porcupine Named Fluffy. Um, and I'm actually all the way up tiny in this corner here because I wanted to make the pictures big for you so that you can see them a lot better, okay? The pictures and the words, actually. So in this story that I'm going to read, I'm actually going to be asking lots of questions, and I'm also going to have you practice asking lots of questions yourself, because that's what readers do. Readers practice asking questions and they practice answering the questions themselves so that they can understand a story a lot better, okay? And that's what I still do. I ask a lot of questions and I answer a lot of questions for myself too when I'm reading a book so that I can understand it better. So here we go. A Porcupine Named Fluffy, written by Helen Lester. She wrote the story, so she is the author. Uh, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. She drew the picture, so that means that she is the, say it with me if you know it, illustrator. And you can figure out for yourself how many syllables are in the word illustrator, okay? So even before we read the first page, I already have some questions for you, okay? There's a lot of them. First of all, what are you wondering? What do you wonder about the story? Another way to ask it is, what do you want to know about the story? Now, if you're in Miss Lay's class, there are a couple of ways that we do practice answering that to help us understand, to answer it a little better. We might say, I wonder, or we might even say, I want to know, and then make our face like this. So I'm actually going to go first and tell you what I want to know. I want to know, why is this cute porcupine sitting on top of this cute rhino's head? It's super cute, it's super funny, and I'm just really interested to know what's going on there. Okay, that's my question. One more thing, the other question is, what do you think the story is going to be about? Okay, now I'm going to show you one thing before you answer these questions. Whenever you see this box up here that has a picture of Nemo and Dory and Pikachu, and this pause button right here, that means that you can pause the video so that you can turn and talk to a family member, just like Nemo and Dory are turning and talking to each other and answering the questions. Or if you're by yourself, you can turn and just think aloud, just like Pikachu is turned and thinking aloud to himself. Okay? All right, I hope you guys are ready because I am ready to read the story. Here we go. When Mr. and Mrs. Porcupine had their first child, they were delighted. Now he needed a name. So cute. Should they call him Spike? No, Spike was too common. Should they call him Lance? No, Lance sounded too fierce. Should they call him Needle Rooser? No, Needle Rooser was too long. Prickles? Pokey? Quillian? Then together they had an idea. Let's call him Fluffy. It's such a pretty name. Fluffy. But soon there came a time when Fluffy began to doubt that he was Fluffy. He first became suspicious when he backed into a door and stuck fast. That was not a Fluffy thing to do. Ooh. He was even more convinced when he accidentally slept on his back and poked holes in the mattress, a very unfluffy thing to do. When he tried to carry an umbrella, he knew the truth without a doubt. Fluffy definitely wasn't. Ugh, poor guy. So he decided to become fluffier. Clouds are fluffy, he thought. I'll be a cloud. But he couldn't stay up. I know, pillows are fluffy. I'll be a pillow, he said. But when his mother sat on him, she was not pleased. He tried soaking in a bubble bath for 45 minutes, but he did not become fluffy. He became soggy. Everyone say soggy. Okay, soggy means when you're really wet and it's very uncomfortable. Oof, I do not like to be soggy. He tried whipped cream. He put a little on each quill. It was not easy and it took more than half a day. But this did not make Fluffy fluffy. They should have named me Gooey, he sighed. He ate a lot of fluffy marshmallows. He rolled in shaving cream and feathers. He even tried to become a bunny. But the truth remained, Fluffy wasn't. Poor guy. One afternoon, Fluffy set out for a walk, trying to think of ways to become fluffy. Before long, he met a very large rhinoceros. Okay, here's where I'm going to stop and ask you some questions. First of all, what are you wondering right now, and what do you want to know? Okay. The other question is, what do you think is going to happen next? And here is where you can pause, turn and talk to your family member, or just turn and think aloud to yourself. And when you're done with that, you can play the video again and go to the next page with me so we can see what happens next. Grrr, said the rhinoceros. I'm going to give you a rough time. Fluffy didn't know what a rough time was, but he didn't like the sound of that at all. What is your name, small prickly thing? Asked the rhinoceros unkindly. Fluffy, said Fluffy. Ooh. The rhinoceros smiled. He giggled. Then he laughed out loud. He rolled on the ground. He jiggled and slapped his knee. Ha! He roared with laughter. A porcupine named Fluffy? Howled the rhinoceros. Too funny. So, first of all, why do you think he's laughing? And second of all, what else do you want to know? And I'm going to let you turn and talk or think aloud. And again, feel free to pause the video so that you can do that and have time. And here we go. I'm going to turn to the next page. Fluffy was embarrassed, but he tried to be polite. And what is your name? Huh, I can't say it, giggled the rhinoceros. Hubert, suggested Fluffy. Huh, huh, huh. Oh, help, I just can't say it. I'm laughing so hard, said the rhinoceros. Harold? Or maybe Herman? Asked Fluffy. No, gasped the rhinoceros. It's hippo! Oh my goodness. So that's a rhinoceros, but his name is Hippo. You have the option here to pause and talk about what you're feeling right now about the story, what's going on in your mind. I'm actually going to keep moving on to the next page. Too funny. Hippo, a rhinoceros named Hippo. Fluffy smiled. He giggled, then he laughed out loud. He jiggled and slapped his knee. He howled with laughter. A rhinoceros named Hippo, Fluffy cried. A porcupine named Fluffy. A rhinoceros named Hippo. It was almost more than they could bear. Hippo and Fluffy rolled on the ground, giggling and laughing until tears came to their eyes. At last, they lay exhausted on the ground. From that time on, they were the best of friends. And Fluffy didn't mind being fluffy anymore, even though he wasn't. The end. If you liked the story, you can give a silent applause. Okay, guys, get ready for some questions. Okay, here we go. First question is, why isn't Fluffy happy with his name? At the beginning of the story, he was not happy with his name. Why? Okay, next question is, why doesn't Fluffy mind being named Fluffy anymore? By the way, you can pause here to answer questions too. Okay, why doesn't he mind being named Fluffy, or why doesn't Fluffy mind being named Fluffy anymore? And the next question is, what do you want to know now that we're at the end of the story, and what are you wondering? So feel free to turn and talk to a family member, or feel free to turn and think aloud to yourself as you are pausing the video and answering these questions. Okay? And after you're done with that, if you want to, I do have an extra activity. And for this activity, you're going to need a pencil or marker or anything that you can use to write with. And you're going to need some paper. Okay. So let me make myself very big again so you guys can see. Haha, there I am. Okay. So, when you're done reading, listening to the story, you can practice drawing pictures of what happened like this, okay? So you would draw 3 different boxes, like long rectangle boxes like this. And the first box would be called first, the middle box would be called next, and the last box would be called last, so that you can talk about what happened first, what happened next, and what happened last, okay? If you want to challenge yourself and add even more important details as to what happened in the story and retell with more details, you can make 5 boxes, okay? So the 5 boxes that you can make like this, 3 on top, 2 on bottom, or 2 on top, 3 on bottom, your choice. The 5 boxes would be named first, okay? Next, then, after that, what happened? And finally, last, what happened last? Here you can, again, you can draw pictures of what happened. Draw them in order, of course, from first, next, then, after that, last. And if you really want to challenge yourself even more, write down sentences in your own words with what happened. Okay? Okay, so that's all for today's read aloud. I had an amazing time reading to all the kindergartners. Um, and I hope to see you again soon. Maybe we can read this again sometime soon. Okay, bye-bye, kindergartners. See you soon. Yay.